We hope you're having a fantastic day and are excited about a little fantasy. We know we are, which is why for today's reading of your first pages, we selected a fantasy novel. Welcome to Semi Sages of the Pages. I'm Morgan.
I'm Teresa.
And as all of you know, we're sponsored by No Bad Books Press, and we read your first pages, give you feedback using our Even Better If model, where we read your pages, tell you all the things we love about it, and maybe give a few suggestions on how to make your great story even greater. And as you are submitting and querying, getting your novels ready or your manuscripts or short stories, it's always good to have some advice from an editor. So Teresa is the top editor at No Bad Books Press. And today my question for her is, what is the most common grammar mistake you see?
Oh, honestly, one of the big ones is not having closing parentheses on dialogue. And that happens when people are doing editing and they just kind of trim a little word or they trim a tag out or they take something away or add something in. That one is probably the biggest one and one of the hardest things to catch.
So would you control find for fronty dialogue tags and then scan for them? I don't know how else you would do it.
It depends on how bad it is. I use Pro Writing Aid, and that'll catch 90% of them. If it catches like one or two, I'm not usually going to worry about it. If it's catching a ton of them, that means there's a ton of them in the document, and then I will do a find, which is really, really tedious. But I want to make sure I find them all.
So there you have it. The thing to avoid is forgetting to end your dialogue tags. At least they know it's just an editing. I mean, it's just one of those tiny annoying
It's just
habits.
one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Typos are a real thing for us authors.
Oh, they're terrible. They're terrible. And most of the time, as the author, you don't see them.
Right?
You need somebody else to tell you that
It's
they're there.
perfect for someone else and find all the things, and then you look in your own and miss it. And then your friend Teresa points it out, and you're like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. But that's what happens, which is why we're going to escape to some fantasy right now.
Novelists ought to have something to say, and Cuchulain did not. He thought he did, but none of his attempts at plotting witnessed that magic breath of life energizing a story. Any story. Sure, he could move characters from point to point on a page, but that was pointless. Why should readers care? What primordial essence elevated his words from mere ink to insight? They should not. It did not. Nothing. Why did writing a novel have to be this hard? His sunken eyes scanned the room. Vials and scrolls stacked precariously on every surface. Benches cluttered with half-finished experiments, their results either unclear or unpleasant. Doodles and theories scribbled on a whiteboard, each line dancing into another to form webs of calculations that seemingly went nowhere. Unintentional, albeit eerily accurate summation of who he was. Why did writing a novel have to be this hard? Because if it was easy, even people like him could do it. The Maharajas, I hope I said that right, banquets would honor nothing but hack storytellers. Grunting, Cuchulain focused on his empty leaf. What did it take to trigger a creative avalanche? He knew some pundits whose inner author would just sing with a stylus, loud and proud, with a little instigation. They would simply sit down and words buzzed around their palm leaf or papyrus like bees with a queen. Why could that not happen to him? What secret inspiration did he lack? Every night, dreams plagued him with visions of book launches and literary festivals, jubilant praise for his prose, reviews dissecting the subtleties of his character work, petty amateurs plagiarizing his world building, even fan fiction. It was as if all his life's accolades, archmage, scholar, lawyer, guru, critic, diplomat, spy, were now meaningless, dwarfed by the need to tell a good story. But he had nothing to say.
Wow.
Ooh.
So what I love about this is one of the most important pieces of advice people always give us is that we need to make it clear what the character wants. and that want is front and center, and it provides lots and lots of characterization and intrigue because everything else comes so easy to this character, and they're brilliant,
Hmm.
obviously. And um, I love this idea that advanced scientific experiments, although maybe they're not that easy, because then it led me to a question. I was like, I hate to just jump in, but I'm like really interested in this story. But it says each line dancing with another to form webs of calculations that seemingly went nowhere. So has he already failed at all these things? And this is just another thing he's going to fail at? And if so,
Ooh.
why are they copying his world building? Like, is he just not quite sane? Maybe it's an unreliable narrator or like a narcissist crazy like
It
character.
could be. And I liked we have setting. We know we're in a room. There's vials and scrolls. So scrolls probably gives us a pretty good idea of time frame too. We're probably not in the now. This was labeled as a fantasy story, so the scrolls help tell us that either that or it's historical. But benches cluttered with half-finished experiments, doodles and theories scribbled on a whiteboard. That's fascinating because whiteboard and scrolls.
Same
Hmm.
with novels and scrolls. So
Yeah.
because novellas aren't usually so just so right away when you were reading, I was like, oh, scrolls and novels. Now that's interesting. So we're mixing, different imagery, which I thought was um unique.
Hmm. I liked this line. They would simply sit down and words buzzed around their palm leaf or papyrus like bees with a queen.
To me, that was like an A- line. Like it was like almost brilliant, but I wanted the author to make the choice. You can either have the papyrus or what was the other one, but not both.
Palm leaf.
Because by making that choice, it tells us
Mm,
more about the world and it doesn't overwhelm us, so our focus can be on the bees.
hmm. That's a good
So
point.
yeah, I do that. Like that was I work with a lot of different professional editors, and that's the thing I do in my writing all the time. And they're like, you've got to make a choice. And it always helps my writing when I do.
That's, yeah, good advice. Yeah, I love this. The next paragraph, every night dreams plagued him with visions of book launches and literary
I
festivals.
love that.
As an author and as somebody who grew up wanting to be an author, yeah, guilty.
Oh, the fan fiction, that whole paragraph is brilliant.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
biggest, like, even better if is, do you really want me to have to read that far to get to it?
Hmm.
Because it's so powerful.
I agree. And where I went, whoa, was the next line. It was if all of his life accolades, archmaid, scholar, lawyer, guru, critic, diplomat, spy. I'm like, whoa, this guy's done a lot.
I mean, that little
Hmm.
line about fan fiction is gold, and it just endears us to the voice so much.
Yeah, but I will also say though, in the first paragraph, he's got, sure, he can move characters from point to point on a page, but that was pointless. But
Yeah, that's
I
witty.
did get the humor in there too. This may just be one of those examples of you've got great, you've got really, really good stuff and you've got some great stuff, and you may have to cut the good stuff to highlight the great stuff.
I
Hmm.
wonder why the mirroring is necessary because it's not typical in storytelling, and some readers might find it redundant, but it could also be part of the power of the fantasy. And, I could be missing something because I could only read the first page. And so, maybe there's something deeper behind because its mirror is really tight.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's probably best to assume it's intentional, huh?
I would assume so,
Yeah.
but this is good. It's really good. I really like this one a lot. I would love to read more. So
Yeah.
if this is something that's available, um, please let people know, author. And we're not gonna call you out. You are welcome to put something in the comments if you're comfortable doing so. But if this story is available, please let us know. Would love to read more.
Yeah, or if you want to submit to No Bad Books Press, if it's completely done and ready to go. Don't
Hmm.
don't go early though. Don't go till you're ready. The advice I wish I would have taken myself years ago.
All right. So I think that's it.
Yeah, that was
Um,
a fantastic, fantastic fantasy. Yeah.
It really was. So if you're interested in submitting your story for a first page critique, you can go to www.semisagesofthepages.com. You can also come and hang out on our Discord. There's a lot of wonderful authors on there, a really nice community. So please come hang out with us and just come by and say hi. We love our Discord.
Thank you for submitting. And if you're watching this, we hope maybe you'll submit some pages to us and have a wonderful day. Go
Take
right.
care, everyone. Bye now.